Good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello. I'm Chris Yee. Hello.
What?
Hello. Hello.
So a couple things. First of all, we're doing this in the same room because Mr. Bonacor is not here today. He is on the West Coast and decided, well, he's in Vegas. We should hide that fact, right? Yeah. He's living it up in Vegas and therefore cannot apparently wake up at 7 a.m., which was reasonable. You know, I wouldn't expect, Tim, who runs Daystar West, got up at 7 to be on our show, and
yes.
Other
I would have
people
done that when I lived in Vegas.
Right.
Just saying.
But we understand, old, decrepit. We got to leave him be. He's also probably pigging out at those buffets, and come on, I hope he is.
Oh, because you want him to lose the challenge.
Do.
That's right.
Eat it up,
right.
Bonacor.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but hey, we're still here. Lots of things going on today. I'm posting a video on multiple ways to use dice in a game. We got some reviews coming up. We all reviewed Brew. That's going up this weekend. What else is coming from us soon? You got any hot games you're talking about?
Hot games?
You got any games?
I got some games. If you're looking for something cute and kind of indie, like if you like those like under the radar little games, I got some stuff coming up.
So keep an eye out for that. But hey, we're here. I don't really have any other announcements or anything to say. So
well, we have some, coming up in a bit. There's a news section to the show.
Is there? Ooh, let's see it. No, not now. Let's see some.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Today I am talking about Genotype. This is from Genius Games. If you're not familiar with them, basically what they do is they make hobby board games, the kinds of things that a lot of us enjoy, but they usually have an educational theme. Now I know what you're thinking, boring, but listen, hear me out. You can have a game with an educational theme and learn from it, which is vastly more interesting than making an educational game that sucks. And Genius Games does the former. So in this game, this is a worker placement game. What you are doing is you are learning about genetics through this monasterian gardening, which is a weird theme, but it's all about how genetics was really kind of discovered. So you have these plant cards, these pea pods, these pea cards, and what you're doing is trying to get all these desirable traits. So you might want to have purple flowers with a tall plant, wrinkled pea pods, whatever it is, the case is. And you are trying to get those desired results by using these Punnett squares that you might have learned about in a biology class, perhaps. The dice that you roll basically mirror exactly the kind of probabilities that you might get. Let's say, when you're crossbreeding a tall plant with a short plant, what are the odds that you're going to get tall plants and short plants and all those kinds of things? You roll this dice, and the way that it works out, you kind of get this kind of a really nice probability scale as it works out. You're trying to draft these dice, trying to complete these plants in order to get them exactly how you wanted them to be. There's other ways, money's really important. You can draft all these different tools, other additional plants. You can also have assistants that you can hire that can help you out along the way. This is just a really interesting worker placement game, but on top of that, a really cool, unique theme that was, yes, in fact, educational. I had forgotten about Punnett squares, and this is a really great refresher. So I had a lot of fun playing Genotype. This is a lot of fun, you guys. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you want to hear more from us, we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can find us on YouTube or on Facebook. Bye, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Tim.
I'm Lizzie, and we are To Play or Not to Play.
So with the summer coming up, here in the UK anyway, we thought we were going to be going on holidays soon. Everybody's looking to get away at last after all this COVID stuff. So we're looking at some quick portable games that you can take away with you on holiday.
Put in your suitcase, get on the plane. Today we're looking at Silver and Gold. We're looking for treasure.
Oh, yeah,
it's a game by NSV. It's 2 to 4 players. It says 20 minutes, but we usually get through it in about 10.
Yeah, sure.
Quite a quick game.
It is a quick game, yeah. So this is another Phil Walker Harding game. Great designer for us. Simple little roll and write, really, but it's actually a flip and write. So you don't roll dice, you actually flip cards and mark off territories that you've got on your little map. So basically, you've got 2 little treasure maps that are cards. You flip over a Tetris shape that everybody needs to mark off, and you just mark it off on your little map. And if you cover over a tree, a palm tree, or a coin, you get extra bonuses, and you get end
marks the spots as well. You can mark off.
Yeah, if you cover off an X, you get an extra go, basically. Things like that. Very quick.
Yeah,
there's only 7 treasure cards, which are these sort of Tetris shapes you turn over. There are 8 in the little stack, but you only draw off 7 for some
And
reason.
4 rounds of 7.
And there's 4
really,
rounds
so
of that,
it's,
yeah.
very good.
And when you fill out a card completely, you get a bonus for the total amount on the card, and you select another one from a little display of 4 cards. And you just keep going until you've been through 4 rounds of 7 cards. Simple.
Great for kids on holiday too. It's 8+. So,
Yeah,
great
and
for
portable.
kids.
Oh yeah, baby, look how small that is. And
Yeah,
you-
and it's pens, white mark,
Yeah.
dry marker.
dry marker,
Yeah,
dry white marker.
Dry white marker.
You get the idea. Great game. Recommend this one. Very cheap, very portable. We'll check out a few more in the next couple of weeks, and you can see some more on our channel if you want to check it out. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
All right, folks.
Oh, you didn't tell me we were going to do battle screams?
I would run. I'm scared of wolves howling, okay? I'm out.
That's a baby wolf.
I'm still scared. Baby wolves aren't out there alone, you know. Mama wolf is stalking.
That's true. All right, folks, today we're going to be playing a game that's a little like Wits and Wagers. I'm going to give a numerical question. You will guess an answer. Whoever's the closest to the answer without going over is number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. Because or 6, actually. I'm going to allow 4. We're going to take 4 random things from the audience. Roy will shout them out to me, and I'll write those numbers down. If you both will pick an answer, we'll just take turns whoever picks first. If you're the closest to the answer, then you will get 5 points. Second closest, you get 3 points. If
Here we go.
3 people, if you beat,
This is hard.
otherwise you're
This
giving
is falling
1,
apart.
2, or 3 points
This
to
is
the
a
people.
disaster.
No. It's just hard. I got lost in how I was explaining it.
It's a good thing we're not live.
You want to start again?
Take 2.
Hang
I
on.
have a question for you, Tom.
Yes.
Shouldn't we write down our answers so that we can't be like 300, 301?
I'll
So
go
I
on.
asked you if I should get something to write, and you were like, no, and then you botched the rules explanation.
I'll go in good faith. You won't one-up me.
Oh, I will do that for sure.
Just-
Maybe 2-up you.
Just
I'll go
have
on
your
bad
answer
faith.
in your head and be ready to say it.
Fine, I'll try not to do it.
All right, let's talk some positivity here. Small businesses fail at an exceedingly high rate.
60.
Fantastic.
Yes, anyway. But how many businesses last a decade?
Whoa.
So a decade is I think my number here, by the way, is based
Are we
in
looking
the
at a
U.S.
percentage?
Yeah,
wait.
so I'm looking at a percentage of businesses that fail. I mean that survive a
succeed
decade.
a decade
That
at
survive
least.
a decade. This is reported by some Bureau of Labor Statistics and things like that.
We're specifically looking at small businesses?
Yeah, so technically, for example, the Dice Tower hasn't even been in an actual official business for a decade yet. We still got some time to fail.
Jeez,
You know.
That's good. Great.
what a monster. Who would
All right.
say that?
So think about that. What percentages of businesses survive a decade? That's what I'm asking. They survive a decade.
We don't need to write this down. We can just hold that number of fingers under the table.
I don't have enough.
What if it's 43.2?
Hold up that
you
many
want
fingers.
decimals? Again, why would you invite these things? You're welcoming the evil. Welcoming the evil.
That's true.
Give 'em a howl.
All right, I'm gonna pick
Give
some
'em a
random ones
howl.
here.
We're always picking random ones. All right, Z, go ahead. Give me your number.
Okay, my number is Jordan. 23.
Oh, my word. All right.
17.
17. All right, Roy, give me 4
You make that
people's
number
choices.
up right now. After you heard my number, I know it.
23, 17, 28, and 16.
Wait, seriously?
So you picked 2 numbers that were the same as these guys.
We didn't look at the
I
screen.
pick randomly.
We did not look at the screen. That was super weird. How are the first 2 numbers our numbers?
I also didn't listen to you guys.
You know what?
That's fair.
All right.
I
all
wouldn't
right.
either.
The answer, actually, the number of businesses that survive a decade is 30%.
Wow.
30%. That puts Z basically first, even though one of the people tie with you. So Z is going to get 5
Roy isn't
points.
listening, yeah.
Second is actually Chris. So Chris, you get 3 points. So we're not giving the people anything.
What's happening right now? I'm so confused.
So 5 for Z and 3 for Chris. You get the first and second closest answers.
Ooh, ooh.
All right.
That's it. I might win one of these. I mean,
That's true. So that means there's a 70% failure rate if you start a small business in a
so
decade.
you should start a big business.
That's true. Start a big business. All right, let's talk about old businesses. This is something that I was curious about. Like, what's the oldest business? And I'm looking here in the U.S. So the oldest it could be, be several hundred years. That's still in existence now. I was thinking about this because I was looking at stocks, and I was like, I wonder, like, businesses have these ups and downs, but like Apple's is less than 50 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So the oldest businesses in America are farms. There's a few farms that are still in existence.
Makes sense.
What do you think? I'll give a bonus 2 points if you can guess the oldest business in Florida, what type of business it is. Shout it out. What type of business?
Looking at seagulls business.
Are you trying to lose?
Fishing?
No, it's actually hardware. It's Pensacola Hardware Company is the oldest business from Pensacola. I've actually been there.
They named a whole city after it.
My question is, what year was it founded?
Pensacola Hardware Company?
Yes.
What do they make?
Wares that are hard.
They sell hardware. It's like Lowe's, except it's a local store.
Interesting.
Pensacola Hardware.
Okay.
I've definitely been there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's
I
the
used
oldest
to
place.
live in Pensacola.
That's the oldest place in Florida.
So the question is, how many years old is it?
I just want to know what year.
Oh, what year it was
What
made.
year?
Well, you've been there.
So it's,
Tell me.
I was there like in 2000, so you can guess below that.
Okay, fine. 1999.
1824.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my guess. 1824.
All right, Chris is saying 1824. Z?
1858.
All right, Roy, give me some random people's choices.
All right, 1853, 1851, 1828, and 1838.
Is that what you said?
I said 1824.
All right, so 58 and 24. Everyone said in the 1800s. No one went back to the 1700s. I guess that does make sense. I don't think Florida was even a state until
I don't know when it became
18.
a state. Yeah, I'm not
I don't
sure.
we should know that.
Look, I'm new
Why?
here.
I
Okay.
don't live here.
You didn't have Florida history as one of your high school classes?
High school?
I know when Las Vegas became a state.
I don't think so, Tom, actually.
Never. That's the joke.
Got it.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, the answer is 1851. One of the people nailed it exactly.
Yeah, but that person Googled it. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, they Googled it. I know who it is. Put that up on the screen for me one time.
All right. Anyway, the other people went over. Z went over.
Yeah,
Then we have
barely.
38, then 28, then 24. So Chris gives the people a point, and Z gives the people 2 points.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, actually, Z gives the people 3 points. So the people now have 4 points.
Because I'm generous like that.
So
I wanted basically Chris to be losing.
Z has 5.
That's it. I gave him enough
The
not
people
to
have
beat me.
4, and Chris has 3. But that's only question 2.
I noticed Tom has 0 points, so that makes me feel better.
That's pretty good. You are definitely not last place.
I did not know I was participating.
0. There it is.
All right, let's go to restaurants. I like
Okay.
restaurants. A small business. All right. How many restaurants in 2017 were in New York City? How many There's a lot of restaurants in New York City. Right now, the numbers are very fluctuating because of
Sure.
COVID and everything that's
The
gone
Rona.
down. So, but in 2017, which was only 4 years ago, how many restaurants were in New York City?
How many
Without going
restaurants?
I'm going to give everyone a clue here, though.
12.
In Paris, there was 44,896 restaurants.
Yikes. I'm going to up my number a little bit then.
Okay, I'm going to go higher than 12. Okay.
Yeah.
You were going to say 12 restaurants?
Yes.
We've been to...
It's a safe bet, isn't it? I'm not going to go over.
That's true, it's true. If everyone goes over, then I go who was the lowest, closest to it, we go backwards. All right, Z, what do you got?
48,520.
Okay, Chris?
25,144.3.
You're right.
Hot dog stands are 0.3.
Got it. All right, Roy, give
Does
me
that
some...
count? Do like falafel play like the cards count
I don't know. If they do, that increases the number dramatically.
tremendously. I'm in the clear.
All right,
20,000, 3,432,
Jim Tompkins has no faith in New York.
3,500.
I like it. I like it.
all right.
Come on,
Okay,
New York.
I might have been deliberately misleading there.
Oh, I went way over, huh?
Because Paris has a lot of restaurants. New York has only 26,697. He's really close.
Wow.
That's 5 points for Chris. You were the closest. Then the people, Z gave the people another 3 points.
Yeah, in your face, Chris.
So right now, Z has 5, Chris has 8, and the people have 7.
Woo! It's a close
Man.
match except for Tom.
Why do I always do this in games? I always come out strong, the board games or otherwise, and then just run out of steam. Halfway through, I'm just like,
All right, well, let's go to this. This is a much more modern stats. These were from April 2021, so that's pretty
Whoa.
close.
Ooh.
The current population of the United States is, in 2019, this is the last time that we got this number, is 328.2 million. Okay? I want to know how many people, as of 2020, are currently employed in the restaurant industry in America, in the United States. How many people are employed in the restaurant industry?
and you're saying it could not be more than 328 million.
You can go higher.
Are you employed in the restaurant industry? Because I have a lunch order for you, if so. I'm already ready.
Gosh, I don't know. We're looking at a number of people here, right?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
No, it's actually good. This number has dramatically fallen, actually.
This
because
stat.
This stat
as
is
of
a more current stat. It fell from 2019 for sure, and that's because the restaurant industry suffered for
Okay.
a while.
No.
Chris, you are first.
Okay. I'm going to say 61 million.
Okay, Z.
550,000.
Okay, people.
30 million, 17 million. What is that? How many zeros?
1 million.
1 million and 33 million.
All right, so Chris said 61 million. You basically said 1 out of 5 people working in the restaurant
One out
industry.
of 5 people in this room work in a restaurant. There's only 4 people in this room. Yeah,
All right.
Super
Guessed.
high.
Well, the actual answer is 9.9 million,
all right. Well, I was close.
which meant everybody went over except Z and one of the people. So Z got second. That's 3 more points for you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Chris, you were last, giving the people another 3 points.
And I get
Yes.
5 points from Chris, right?
That's not how that works. So the
You don't know
score
how this
currently
works.
is Z has 8, Chris has 8, and the people have 10.
Maybe we should Voltron and take down the people.
Except for Tom, 0 points.
That's true. Detriment. He's the bear that makes up the left foot.
Okay, now there's another percentage stat here.
Go.
So this is interesting to me. People are ordering food online now. We order it, we get it delivered.
I know.
We do it here occasionally.
It's the future.
I ordered more food online in the year 2020 than the rest of my life combined. I think that's reasonable.
You ate more food in 2020 than the rest of the... Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
It's not what I said. All right. What percentage of people who use food delivery services, so this is someone who's already using a food delivery service,
Okay.
is willing to pay extra for fast delivery?
Okay.
Because you can do that, I think, DoorDash doesn't do it, but I think Uber Eats does it. Like, you can pay to expedite your order. Because sometimes the Uber Eats, they'll combine deliveries.
I didn't know that. I did not
Yeah,
know
so
that.
Uber,
Okay.
I know Uber Eats lets you do that. So what percentage of people are willing to pay extra for fast delivery?
Sometimes I will almost pay extra for just delivery. See my order.
Well,
at
that
Chipotle,
always happens. That, you're paying for extra.
You don't
for
have an option
sure,
on that
man.
one.
Yeah.
But
Well,
above and beyond, like faster than the hour it normally takes or whatever.
The one thing I don't like about delivering food, though, is that you're supposed to, when you pay like through DoorDash, you tip beforehand.
You do. I think that's weird.
That really bugs me because tipping should be
Based on
your service. If
Yeah.
you're slow and late.
No, I
guess
agree with that 100%. That's unfortunate. I wish they would do it the way that Uber does.
I like
it,
how
where
Uber does it. When you do
tip
the
them
ride,
after.
and they're like, hey, would you like to tip
That person
it?
was great. Boom. Yeah. I
Right.
agree with that. What I like to do is I like to get DiGiorno delivered just to really mess with things. And then when the person comes like, is this delivery? Is it? And they're like, yes, sir. It's DiGiorno. Take it and slam the door. They got a good tip, though.
How are you getting DiGiorno's delivered?
That's the thing. It's like a loophole in the fabric of the universe.
So you're doing the shell game with pizzas.
Yes.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, I think you're first.
What was the question again?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Got
5.
so much. Oh, pay to go.
Percentage of
quickly,
people, who would pay for.
No,
fast
Z's
delivery.
first. Go ahead.
18%.
12%.
All right, people.
26, 60, 25, and 45.
All righty. The actual answer is 27.
Wow.
That's at 18. Huh? That's pretty good.
Well, it is, except 2 of the people said 26 and 25,
Well, they don't count.
which means that Z and Chris both give the people 1 point each, putting them to 12. So it's 8 to 8 to 12.
We can do this, man.
I don't know, Chris. I'm losing hope.
We got 2 questions left.
Is each one worth approximately 20 points?
No. But, all right.
Is that
So
a double point question?
I looked up the healthiest candy bars, which is kind of like...
Google must have been like,
Did you mean?
All right. So the healthiest candy bar actually, according to this
According to the
cheatdaydesign.com.
Hershey Chocolate Company.
does it have to be a bar
Well,
or,
actually, I'm
or
just going to tell you. I'm
candy?
going to tell you what it is. It's the York
Something rich
peppermint
and-
patty,
Yeah, something rich in chocolate.
and I'm assuming this is obviously based on best-selling candy bars. I'm sure someone has made a candy bar that's negative calories,
Made
and when
out
you
of
eat it, you
styrofoam.
vomit. You know.
Yeah. When you eat it, it like absorbs the fat in you.
I'm sure there's stuff like that. But of the actual ones you can go buy in your grocery store, we got the York peppermint patty, something I have not eaten for many years.
Well, they're good for you. Who wants that?
Right. It's basically broccoli.
Your peppermint patty is.
I like a York peppermint patty, but it feels like you're eating a.
Toothpaste? Yes.
Yes.
It's real toothpasty. It is real toothpasty. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, how many calories are in a York peppermint patty?
Okay.
Well, it's really good for you. It's basically the celery. They call it the celery of candies. How big is one of those things? They're not that big, right? Like that
They're-
big? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many calories is in that bad boy?
Like, when's the last time you've had one?
Oh, I don't remember. I know I've tasted it because I know it tastes like you're saying,
It's
like
super
dark
distinctive,
chocolate.
that taste.
Yeah, it's
Right.
dark chocolate with toothpaste in it. But no, I haven't had one in a decade at least.
I like
really
one, but
don't
I
like
really
it.
can't remember the last time I had
No, I
one.
never buy that. I rarely buy candy, but I never buy that.
Yeah.
Calories
This time.
All right.
Yeah, Chris is
I'm ready
first.
to
Go
go.
ahead,
Oh,
Chris.
okay.
92 calories.
Okay, Z?
I was gonna say 180.
Okay, people?
95, 125,
I might have gone too high.
214,
No.
and 100.
All right, actual answer 150.
Oh man.
Oof.
I was so close, Tom.
You
This whole
were.
going over thing is stupid and I hate it.
Tell us how you feel, Z.
All right,
Stupid and I hate it.
Z gives the people 2 points. Chris gives them 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the people are now at 15 to 8 to 8.
We might actually combined lose.
I know.
All right,
Wow.
the world's biggest steak is sold in what state, you think?
Texas.
Texas.
That's correct.
Kind of
There's a place
question is this?
called the Big Texan where they have.
72.
It's not the world's biggest steak. I mean, it's the world's biggest commercial. You can go buy it. You can make bigger steaks than this. It is 72. It costs $72.
I've been there.
You have really?
I have, really. They have this giant
Z
rocking chair.
wins.
You're correct.
I have been there.
What city is it in then?
Amarillo.
Wow! I'm very impressed. Did you eat the steak?
I did not, but a friend of mine did go for that. Like, you have to eat it on a clock or whatever.
Yeah, you have, I think,
You're like
an hour or
to
something.
eat it, and then if you do, it's free.
Did your friend make it?
No.
Did he get half of it?
No.
72 ounces is a lot. My mind is blown. Good thing I didn't ask the ounces or Z would have won. But I'm asking how many calories are in that steak.
Oh, sure he is. Let me see your notes, Vassal.
They're here. You can look at them later.
I want to look at them now.
How many calories are in a 72-ounce steak?
Gosh. And we're just counting the meat.
You should not
the...
eat a 72-ounce steak.
That's a monstrous thing. Yeah. Okay. Calories in a massive slab of meat.
You're talking about basically the side of a cow.
Not quite.
So how many calories is a cow divided by 3?
I will look up how many calories are in a cow in a second. I'm actually curious about that. How many calories if you eat an entire cow?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Okay, am I first?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna try to lowball it. Maybe 1,100.
Okay.
Ooh.
Chris?
I was going to say 1,318.
All right, people?
2,500, 3,000, 1,600. I'm mixing it up there. 5,600.
Woof.
Well, that 5,600 is close, but it went over because it's only 5,522.
Wow.
Isn't like the average person supposed to eat 2,000 a day? And that's if you're a big guy like me.
Yeah. So that's like 2.5 days worth of meat right there, and that's like all you get for the
That's all
day
you
too.
get. Yeah, you get that 114-ounce baked potato, and you're done for.
I'm sorry, you both gave the people 3 points. The people have 21.
So if we combine, though, we have 16.
I was not expecting you to do that poorly. 1,100. All right, let's see. How many calories are in a cow?
To be fair, I've never
Has
even
this been
seen
asked before?
72 ounces of steak.
How many calories are in a cow? They're not. Oh, here, Reddit says, how many calories are in a whole cow? Of course.
I mean, that steak has 5,000 and
So
change.
someone did the math. 513,751 calories. There's 492 pounds of usable meat in an average cow. I probably should have saved this information for a future game. That's hilarious. 492 pounds. Wow.
Yeah.
There's a really long answer. They're talking about they're splitting it up into categories and wow, 513,000 calories. So if you eat 2,000 calories a day, it would take you 257 days to eat the whole cow. Let's buy one. We got a freezer, right?
We got a backyard full of grass,
Salt
right?
it also.
Oh, we're going to buy a live cow.
Are we gonna? No.
Who's milking the thing? This game's going off the rails. Congratulations, people, for your glorious victory. Let's
Well done.
Let's go to contributors, and we'll be back with the news.
Does anybody else just have like a huge pile of laundry that hasn't been folded yet? I'm looking at it like 2 feet that way, and it's giving me some anxiety. Hi, I'm Jordan. This is Weeknight Gaming, where I talk about a game that's good to play on a weeknight. I wanted to talk about a series of games, actually, and this is called the Detective series, and this is from DVGOchi Games. These are not escape room games. These are not kind of puzzle games. These are straight Sherlock Holmes kind of mystery solving games. And so in each of these, I have 2 here. I have another one we haven't played yet, but one of them was a murder mystery. One of them was kind of a kidnapping mystery. And in it, you're going to be having these cards. And the cards all have different clues on them, and you're going to be playing cards that you think are worth keeping, clues that are going to be helpful for you, but then discarding cards that you don't think are going to be helpful. Then at the end of the game, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and depending on how you have collected your clues and have kind of solved the mystery, there's a point system or whatever. But this one works really well with 1, 2, 3 players. You know, for a smaller group, you can play this one very easily. Very easy to get into because the rules are literally on the cards, and you just kind of pull some cards out and you can start playing pretty quickly. It also doesn't take a very long time. I know a lot of escape room games like Exit or Unlock are around that 1 hour, maybe longer. These feel shorter than those. I don't know if they are, but they definitely feel like you're playing them under an hour. I really like these detective games. I'm going to be keeping an eye on them as they're coming out with new ones. I think the whole system works really well. And I don't know, the way that the cards work is really interesting. There's some clues printed on the cards, and you have to be very mindful of maybe you're creating maps, you're looking at like a scene along the cards and how those scenes might be changing throughout the game. Really cool stuff. I think Z has Done some full reviews of these on the channel, so check those out if these are interesting to you. So that is Deck-tective. Perfect for a weeknight, guys. I'm Jordan. Thanks.
Mission Control, this is Lagolia Captain, ready to commence pre-launch checkout.
10-4, Lagolia, ready on your mark.
Affirmative. Up first, mission status.
Lagolia, mission protocols are loaded.
Thruster status.
Thruster status is A-OK.
Affirmative. And what about those little sciencey thingies?
Sciencey things are on board.
10-4. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, that took so long to produce. But hey, I'm back. And this time with a new episode of It's Out Now, where I take a look at recently delivered Kickstarter games to determine if they were worth the wait. And this time, not surprisingly, I'm looking at Rocket Men, designed by Martin Wallace. Rocket Men is a deck building game which will have players operating as nondescript space agencies trying to launch a number of missions to locations in our solar system, either the orbit of Earth, the Moon, or the Mars. Your starting hand in Rocket Men will provide you with all the missions available, as well as some starting currency, which will use to purchase upgraded components and even acquire more funding to help get your missions off the ground. Attempting a mission triggers a push your luck minigame where you're moving a marker up the launch track, combining values from the components on your launch pad as well as the values revealed from the mission success deck. Now, a quick note on strategy, if I may. If you see your opponents early in the game prioritizing new card purchases instead of slotting those upgrades on their launch pad, you may want to follow suit. We learned in a recent playthrough that a player who hoards cards from the upgrade deck can starve the other players out from reaching the harder missions later in the game, so keep an eye out for that. So that's Rocket Men, which may or may not have been featured on my recent Top 10 Solo Games video. I really like the flow of the game, and I feel like the push your luck elements are well balanced by the mitigation options available. The resulting tension of a launch feels just right, and on top of that, the table presence of this game is excellent. Now, come in Lagolia Captain.
Yeah?
Time to sign off.
Already?
Yeah, well, they'll have to tune in to Tabletop Toolbox to see the rest of your antics.
Okay. Bye!
Oh, we're already on the screen down there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the news. I'm Tom Vassell. You know what? We don't need to introduce ourselves again. Let's just get started.
Yeah, let's just, hi, I'm
You're Z.
we're the losers from the game you just watched, us two.
Okay.
Okay? There's Tom, and then there's the people.
Da, 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 da. All right, let's
What do
take a
we
look
got?
at our news. So first of all, there are new games from Funko. So we've been talking recently here in the studio about Target. Target usually releases some games in June. We know a few. We're going to talk about them today, actually. I don't know when this one's coming out exactly, the first one here, but I'm assuming some of this is the June.
Okay.
The Target usually has a whole pile of new games come out in June.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, there's some kid games. We got this Hidden Mickeys, where it's you're hiding Mickey markers around the living room, and then you flip cards trying to find one, and then you run and find it. That doesn't sound like a game that I would sell. Like I could just say, I hid some things, kids, go find them.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a thing that the parks do. That's why they're selling this. The
oh,
hidden, I mean, they don't actually hide anything, but there's like hidden, the
Mickey
with the
stickers.
Sure, I know that that's at Disney World.
Yeah,
and
so
some
they
people
have it. So you're supposed to find sort of hidden Mickeys all over the place. And they'll hide them in places where you wouldn't think. Like, oh, that ceiling tile. Ah, look, I can see a Mickey in it. That kind of thing.
The age is 4+ on the box. Like that's what this is, a year-round Easter egg hunt if you want it.
Sure.
Yep.
Then we have Toy Story Talent Show. Again, these are all kids games, this one in particular, where it's a bunch of challenges. You're bouncing, tossing, roping. I sure hope this is not a remake of the game. There's 100 physical challenges.
Of the game? What do you mean?
Not the game.
Minute to win it or something, or
Minute to Win, it's okay. I never really understood the huge appeal of Minute to Win It because I've done that sort of thing all the time. Like, hey, let me see if I can throw my pen in that cup. Anyway, we're getting way off topic here. I don't know how this is really Toy Story themed from those pictures, other than them just slapping a Toy Story onto a bunch of physical games.
Yeah.
Right.
In other words, even though I have kids and I like kids' games, both of these are so far not impressing me at all, really.
Well, they seem real.
They seem mass market. They don't seem Funkoverse. They seem like Hasbro.
Yeah, these are very much, they feel a little cash grabby. It's like slap a Toy Story license onto, I don't know, living room bowling.
I might be
Let's
wrong,
go.
when I'll probably end up trying them out. The next one, similar, Mad Tea Party. Now this one has a much stronger theme, I think, but you're just stacking cups.
That's better. That's way better than the other two sound.
Right, it has a stronger theme to it, I think.
Yeah.
Right,
It
and
looks pretty, it's unified.
This one reminds me, Funforge, I think, is the company that has the license for a bunch of little Disney games. They made that Lion Guard cooperative game, which was
Oh,
really
I like that
good,
game, actually.
But then everything else in that line is just kind of like this stuff. So I don't know if that means that, I don't know if they'll continue to make games like that, because games like this have been coming out with Disney things. My daughter has a little cupcake stacking game, and you just stack cupcake pieces together. So this looks better, I think. The Mad Hatter one particularly looks better than
Well, this
some of
one
that
in
stuff.
particular, if you don't like the game, your kid has a bunch of little teacups to play with.
That's what the cupcakes is,
Yeah, right.
All right, and then the last, I think, in this category, we have Mickey and the Beanstalk. Now, this one has this kind of cool-looking beanstalky thing, but again, this one so screams mass market to me.
Yeah, what's going on in there? I'm seeing.
You're trying to collect food from the table, avoiding getting caught. You got to rescue the golden harp, and then you slide down the vine to bring everybody home. It's a 3D game board, and then you have sculpted characters which can spin down the vine.
You actually set them on there, and they'll.
Yeah, they do that thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
all mass market.
This one seems very. This screams to me like early '90s Toys R Us. It really does. I'm sorry.
I'm hoping that that we're just not getting good pictures of these and everything, and when the actual games come, but
that's fine. We got to try a little harder than what's available already. These games and this experience you can get in Mousetrap.
And just to void off future comments, I realize they're kids games, but I also play tons of kids games. And there's companies like Haba and Game Right and other companies that put out
Blue
really
Orange.
good kids games
Yeah.
that feel different, cool. These don't look it, but I might be wrong.
They might be, yeah, but they don't look that way.
All right, there's a new board game studio out called Earthborn Games. This is by Andrew Navarro, who was formerly working with Chip Theory Games. So now he has, before that he was with Fantasy Flight. The Fantasy Flight, as I said before, if there's one good thing from the implosion, or in our opinion, the implosion of Fantasy Flight, it's all these new things starting up. And this is another one. He also has the Sadler brothers working with him, and a bunch of other people. I don't know the names of everybody else involved in this, but it's a whole team. Their first game is going to be called Earthborn Rangers, which is coming to Kickstarter. That's my only little concern, is that they actually named
the studio's called Earthborn and the game is called Earthborn Rangers.
Yeah, that's my only concern.
Yeah, that's not a good idea, I think. But what do I know?
It's better than it just being Earthborn by Earthborn. I don't know. It's something
Sure.
different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, their second game is Earthborn Farmers. Earthborn Plumbers.
I like this.
It's a whole series.
Yeah.
But this is a solid team that they got together here, so I'm always excited about new stuff.
Kind of seems like a super group almost, a lot of good names to it.
Now, in a surprise sort of announcement, I mean, I didn't hear much about this before this week or so. Keymaster Games has a new game coming out called Trails, which is a standalone game for parks, but deliberately made for mass market. It's coming to Target on June 20th, which is 10 days from now.
Yeah.
So, and I will likely, once again, go to Target and see Z there.
Yeah, you know what? I think you will, because this looks really neat. I watched a video of how to play it. It seems fun. Certainly, sort of steps a little closer to that mass market feel, or, where the components are probably a little cheaper. They went with just wooden cubes for the resources and whatnot. But this looks like a fun little game. I liked the vibe. I mean, the MSRP on this is $19.99. That's cheap.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think I will grab a copy. This is a nice little surprise, and this will be one of those Target games too. So,
well, and it fits nicely with the idea of it being kind of a gateway game, or a welcoming game, as people might call it, because there's literally, this is not a smaller version of, but it's related to parks. So it's easy for someone to see this, say, hey, I liked this. What else is there like it? It's going to have a little advertisement inside. Try
I'm
parks.
sure it will. I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
this
good.
one we know is going to Target. The other ones I'm just guessing. I don't think Funkoverse announced where they're going or when they're coming out.
okay.
It just
Right.
seems like that would make sense.
That's a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, they call it big news. I'm not sure if I feel like it's big news or not. And this is The Hunger. This is a new game from Renegade Games. It's a deck building game, and the big thing from them is that it is Richard Garfield, who's the designer. It's a deck building game. It's a 2 to 6 player game, and you are trying to feed on humans. It's a vampire game that has a much lighter look than most vampire games do.
It almost has that yellow look.
That is definitely one of the artists that works with yellow. I'm sorry. If it's not, they are an amazing... Their style then is very much similar. Doesn't that look like the same person who did like the Big Book of Madness and like all those yellow games?
Yeah. Well, I looked up the artist, and I don't think it's the same person. I think this might be one of their first board game pieces of art they've done.
Really?
At least through some of the clicking. It looks sharp, which is good.
Yes.
And also looks kind of familiar. So, but not.
I get it.
Not in an
Sharp,
overwrought way.
like the familiar.
Well,
like
there's 2 artists for the game mentioned on Board Game
So
Geek,
good.
and one of them, Marta Ivanova, did the art for Furnace.
Oh,
Yeah, which is
that's a very different look.
And the other one, Jocelyn Jock Millet, did the art for Korra, Rise of an Empire, which is yellow,
Oh, okay.
and Sea of Legends, that big giant pirate
Okay,
game.
yeah. I'm sorry. This is that look. Sea of Legends
looks like the Sea of
Big Book of
Legends.
Madness. It's like
Oh, okay.
they
Okay.
have the same look.
So, all right. Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think Richard Garfield's an amazing designer. I think he's one of the best designers in history.
Yeah.
Not just for Magic. He did Netrunner. He did Robo Rally. But he has also had a few major clunkers. I'm assuming this will be good. I mean, he also did King of Tokyo. It's probably good.
Has he done a deck building game? Not a trading or
No.
collectible game. This is a deck building game.
No,
Isn't
everything he's
the
done
Rabbit
is
one's not a deck building game?
no. It's a drafting
drafting.
game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Now to think of it, he has way more positive than negative games for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm
of course,
optimistic.
yeah. Hey, this looks neat to me. I'm not even a big deck building fan, but I like the look of this quite a bit. I do like the artwork. I like the idea of those cards. They showed that illustration with a few of the cards, and I'm excited. I want to check this out.
Yeah.
Looks good.
All right, in other Z news, Pandemic Hot Zone Europe has been announced, sort of. I
Haven't
feel
we
like
known
this has
about
been
this, or-
spoiled a long time ago, or at least. Anyway, they've officially announced it. It's the second in a series of 6 titles, because they're apparently doing every continent.
And then the moon.
Antarctica's probably not going to
I
get its own
assume,
game.
it's going to be one. There's one city, and the rest is just white.
Penguin Breakout.
And it's a flicking game where you flick slowly towards that one city.
Okay. Now, Z, you gave the first one a somewhat middling review, right? You said to essentially, why
It's
play this when
fine.
you can
It's
play
like-
Pandemic?
Yeah, that's part of it. It's like a 6 or a 7. I wouldn't say I was turning it down or downturning it. Yeah, but it also, I thought that the sort of the gap between the full game and the little one was a smaller gap than say between like Ticket to Ride and Ticket to Ride New York. That seems like a bigger gap to me.
Sure.
And so they're going to continue these. The cool thing about it is, which might then make some folks perhaps reconsider or decide to collect them all, is that each one's going to have some little variant you can choose to put in there to up the complexity slightly. So like the mutating virus or whatever. And those you can cross them between the games. So I can take the small variant that comes in this, Virulent Strain, whatever it may be, and then put it in America. I can even take the one from America and the one from this and put them both into one game and make that game a little bit harder. So that's a neat idea.
You can also switch the characters. I think it's a new set of characters.
Yeah, the characters, you can take them from one game to another. And above and beyond that, the weird new thing is this idea of playing 2 continents at the same time, where one player or several players will start in America, and some players start in Europe, and you can take actions to leave one board and go to the other one.
And you each have 3 characters on your board. So me and Z are playing. I have 3 characters. You have 3 characters, and we can go. That sounds really cool.
It sounds neat. Mechanically, I want to see it working first. See what's it going on exactly. But
that sounds like when you combine 2 of these.
Yeah.
That sounds as good as Pandemic then almost.
Then you're starting to get into some more interest. Yeah.
When they say that there's going to be 6 obviously in the line, so I assume that for. I don't know, generally they're going to say mix 2, maybe, is kind of what it sounds like.
I assume that's the deal.
But someone is going to make a mega game of this at a convention.
You're at 6 people sitting around.
It's going to be Model UN.
I'll come by and be like, wow, that's really cool you guys are doing this. We got an extra seat. Nah!
You have fun.
All right. I'm really excited about this next piece of news, and that is Port Royal Big Box, which is weird because I'm almost never excited about a big box these days.
Oh, sure.
But the Port Royal Big Box looks like it's the size of Carcassonne, which I'm okay with. I love Port Royal. The worst thing about Port Royal is the art isn't that great. This is better art.
Oh, they did change it, huh?
Well, look at that box cover. That's,
yeah, okay.
That looks good. It includes the original game plus 2 of the expansions, the Gamboard promo card, who cares about that, and a new standalone game, Port Royal Unterwegs, which I've had and never played. Or maybe I did play it, I don't remember.
Well, there's a co-op thing in there, I think. It's one of those where you have the big cards.
There's
a bunch of stuff that's
It's a push your luck game, and it's fantastic. I really like Port Royal.
This is one I've never played. I've played most of Pfister's catalog, and so I'm excited to try this one out. Also, the artist is so far unattributed for this one. It looks very inspired by Clemens Franz, if it's not actually him. I can't tell, but look at that. That cover's gorgeous.
Yeah, that cover looks really good. Those colors are extremely popping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Steve Jackson they were going to make Port Royal in America, and that kind of fizzled out. It didn't make enough money, so they dropped it.
They did make one, right?
They made the original game, and then they never...
horrific. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because it was like the box looked like they hadn't put artwork on. It was just a figure, right? Just a person standing there?
But I think the cards were the same as the original one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks great.
In small news, I guess, Tales of Arabian Nights. So, Steve Kimball, who's the head of Z-Man Games, has been writing a lot of essays about stuff, and he talked about this game, Tales of Arabian Nights, and how they were going to redo it. And the designer of this game was actually working with another publisher, he didn't say who, and then that fell through.
Okay.
They were going to redo the game somehow, some way. But since it did fall through, Z-Man Games is going to publish like a small print run that you can get right now. So you can get the same game, the original one, which is close to 20 years old now.
So are they saying they're going to reprint a few of these and then put out a reworked version?
Well, he says this is happening because of a bump in the road to a rebooted version of a game with another publisher. From what was hinted by somebody, that it might be, the new edition might be on Arthurian Legends. And I would give credence to that because that was told to me a decade ago.
Interesting.
And I was super excited about that because I love Arthurian Legends. It would fit really well in this thing. And a reboot would not be a bad thing. There's some streamlining that could be done to the game sure.
Yes. So this is a straight up reprint.
This is a straight up reprint, but if you've been looking for this game...
Yeah, okay, so there's a limited print of these available soon or now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like the limited engagement sort of idea of this. That works.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of FOMO, I guess, but also this game is so old, it doesn't trigger the same part of the brain. Like, oh, you're going to miss this brand new thing. No, it's like, this is old thing. We're going to feature it for one night only kind of show. We're bringing the band back together. That's nice.
I got it in the Dice Tower library, so... All right, Arkham Horror card game. Z likes this one a lot.
I do.
They have been putting out their expansions in small blister packs.
Mythos packs.
Sorry, Mythos packs.
Mythos.
Blister Mythos.
Yes.
Myth Blist. Anyway, I don't know.
That's probably the name of a fantasy world, and you know it. Myth Blist.
Anyway.
Like it.
The Reckoning.
So you would buy it, and I think they came in an arc. You get 3, was it?
No, so the way it works is you buy the beginning of the cycle. That's sort of like the medium box, if you know what I'm talking about. And that's got the characters for the new cycle, so new players you can be, new characters you can be.
Cycle's like a story.
Yeah, basically. Cards to build decks with and all that jazz. And then parts 1 and 2 of whatever that new story arc is. Once that's done, then once a month they would come out with a Mythos pack. And it would be a few more player cards. And then the next chapter, so like part 3, would be the first of those blister packs. And that goes up to the 6th blister pack, which is 8 chapters.
Okay.
Right, 2 in the box and the other 6. So this product, and from what they're saying going forward, changes that distribution model. They are now going to be 2 boxes. One of them packs the characters and the entirety of the cycle for deck building cards, player cards. So that's the smaller of the 2 there. That's everything that goes on your side, so, for the player stuff. And then the other box there, Edge of the Earth, is the entirety of the story.
Wait, do you have to buy both then?
You do not, because those 2 things are not necessarily related.
Oh, I see. So you
can just
buy
have
the story
new
and play with the
characters.
characters from the original game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ah, okay.
And the other one's just the campaign, the story, so you
That's
can
right,
play your
yeah. So
existing stuff.
if you're perfectly happy with your decks, you don't want any more deck building content, you don't need more characters, you can just get Edge of the Earth, the big box, and you have a new story. The entire thing. If you just want more deck building stuff, you can do that and get the other one.
This seems like a good idea.
It seems like a neat idea. It will slow down. I mean, it definitely keeps down that sort of chasing the Mythos packs. Because sometimes they go out of print for a little bit and you're like, oh no, 3 and 5 are available, but not 4. I think this will be nice. It does put some more space in between one release and the next because they got to make this thing. So I
also thinking about
like the way
storage.
this is coming. Yeah, storage will be good. I like the way this is being delivered. I'm happy to get the entire campaign right now. I am worried that the big time period between one and the next might hurt the game a little bit.
So this is Netflix releasing the entire season at once.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like it, man, and I like this setting. So this is one they hadn't done yet, but the whole Arctic thing,
The cold stuff. Is that what's the guy who lives down there?
Ithaca.
or something like that?
Yeah. It's like a big Yeti.
Ithaca?
Looking.
Ithaca, New York.
Ithaca, New York.
That's the edge of the earth right there. Ithaca, New York.
Yes.
All right, let's jump to the very different extreme here now. From Ryan Lockett, Red Raven Games. We've already knew this was coming, now or never. We know this because there was a promo in our Kickstarter for this game. But it's not going to Kickstarter. You can pre-order it right now. So this is I thought was pretty interesting news. Ryan Lockett is not using Kickstarter or GameFound for now or never. He's just going to pre-order it. That's what Stegmeyer did with Stonemaier Games. Went and you could pre-order stuff. Is this a permanent thing? I don't know how this will change stuff. I'm also super excited about this game. I love Near and Far. This is a direct sequel to that game.
Right.
I also love the name of this. I love the cover. I'm so excited.
It's really cool. There's actually a trailer for it where Ryan Lockett kind of narrates what the game's about.
Wait, he does a narration too?
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'm just kidding. He probably did the music in the background.
The music, I believe, might be his spouse. So
yes, his wife is the one playing the piano. So
they are
a
a very
cool
talented
trailer.
couple. They do everything. I mean, it's insane.
But it's a very economic driven kind of game. Whereas I haven't played the other two, but they're more adventurous, right? So this is a sequel. So I don't know if you need to have watched the previous 6 Spider-Man movies to understand what's going on here.
They're not related like that, unless this is a new move. But they haven't been like that before.
This is like hundreds of years later or something.
So it shouldn't matter. Like, you can definitely play Near and Far without having played Above and Below, and you can do whatever you want with these.
Yeah.
Cool.
But they're good.
All right, we've been doing a lot of negative news in the past year about conventions. Here's some positive ones. BGG Con has been announced. BGG Spring of 2000 was canceled. Was one of the first conventions to be canceled. Was canceled, and they didn't do any BGG Cons last year. They didn't do Spring this year. But normal BGG Con is happening. It's still 5 months away. It's in November. They are obviously working with COVID and stuff, but the fact is we don't know what life's going to be like in 5 months. So they're very optimistic about this. They have 1,700 badges that were carried over already, but they're going to open it up to 2,500. And then they said if conditions continue to improve like they've been improving, they'll add another 1,000 badges. It's a big con. So 3,500.
How close is Dallas to Amarillo? I'm amping up for one of those 72-ounce steaks.
Yeah, and if you're in Dallas, there's big enough steaks there. You don't need
Fine.
You'll be fine. All righty, well, that's the news.
What is up? My name is Melissa McCack, and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I want to talk about Ratchet & Clank, the video game series. So specifically, I've really only played Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, which I think is like the 3rd installment in the series, but I know they're coming out with the new stuff and they're revamping the old stuff, I think. But anyway, I really like the game. It's a lot of fun. You're pretty much like this little critter dude with like a robot sidekick or something, and you're going through and you have a bunch of gadgets and different weapons and everything, and you're blasting through waves of like monsters and other creatures and things, and then it's also puzzly. Like you have to figure out puzzles to like get to the next room or the next area and things like that. So I want to connect it to Mechs versus Minions. Now, Mechs versus Minions could have easily been like connected to like League of Legends or any sort of MOBA game, but I'm connecting it to Ratchet & Clank because in that game, you are essentially, it's cooperative, and I love this game. It comes with a bunch of minion miniatures, and you're pretty much blasting away at a bunch of minions, like waves of these enemies, just kind of like in Ratchet & Clank, and you're building up your little gadgets where you have like this programming involved, and it's puzzly. You have to figure out, how am I going to win this game? How it comes with different scenarios, with different objectives and everything. So it reminded me a lot of Ratchet & Clank. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can check out mine and my brother's channel called Room 51.
This is in my top 10 worker placement games of all time for a few reasons. One, in most worker placement games, you get extra workers as the game goes on, but not here. In this game, you get all of the workers you will ever have from the start, so you better treat them right, okay? I want to see a solid benefits package out of the gate. You know, you can't afford these workers going on strike. There's nobody else coming. Two, as you place more workers onto a spot, those spots get more powerful, and that's super cool. You put a 3rd worker on a spot, you get 3 stones. And I love that because it helps prevent analysis paralysis. In a lot of worker placement games, people are like doing the math in their head forever, like, well, if I get a stone right now, then 3 turns later I can build this card, but if I get a wood, then that means 2 turns later. But here, there's none of that. You're like, I can't believe you're letting me get 6 woods. Yes, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with 6 woods, but I got 6 of them. Third reason why this is in my top 10 worker placement games of all time is if someone gets too powerful and has too many people on a spot, you can put their workers into jail. Let that be a lesson for you, proletariat. If you get too powerful, then the man is coming for you. A lot of people don't like the box size for Garfield games because they're small and you have to squeeze a bunch of stuff into it. And, you know, I think Garfield just does it because they're a humble company. You know, they're like, look, we can't make a perfect game. That would be unfair to all the other games out there. So, you know, let's give people a reason to be mad about something. Make the box too small. Oh, yeah, that'll get them going. People hate squeezing stuff in. Problem solved, fellas.
All right. This is just to remind you.
8 points.
This is just to remind you.
Why would you rubbing the pain?
What the scores were like.
Rubbing the hurt.
Oh, he's taking your points away. Now you have nothing.
That's better.
Now we're on the same level as you, Tom.
Oh.
This is unbelievable.
No one's down on my level. All right, folks, that's it for today. We have many other videos going up, of course, but this is our last live thing. Enjoy this weekend. Have a good time. We have lots of things coming your way. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Chris Yee.
Bonicor's being lazy in Vegas. See you next time.